Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to our today's podcast. Here is Tony Laoshi. Welcome again. This is one of our first podcasts and one of the first topics that we had started. We launched on Monday. We had a live stream where we had a conversation about what? So we were talking about when isn't that too late to start learning any foreign language. So in this particular situation, we are of course referring to English language, right? So welcome again. Here is our today's topic. When isn't it late, or maybe I should say too late to start any foreign language? So we had this live stream. So today we'll try to make another podcast, but this is going to be a short version, some kind of, sum up. And right, let's get started.
抽烟的人有故事，喝酒的人有心事。不要贸然的评价我，你只知道我的名字，却不知道我的故事。
All right, people. So let's get started. Hopefully you are feeling comfortable right now. It is convenient for you to listen to our today's conversation. Let's get started. Right, by the way, I'm gonna remind you, after our today's conversation, I'll try to prepare a PDF file where you'll see some key points, right? Especially to those who are not quite good at English yet, let's say. So it would be kind of let's say practical, really convenient later on afterwards to take a look and point out some key features of our today's conversation, right? Let's get started. So the moments that we had discussed on Monday in our podcast were, these are some common aspects, some factors, right? So that would be like what? Obviously, when you start learning any foreign language, anything technically, you start doing anything new, right? It develops, it definitely increases, well, first off, it develops your mind, right? It develops your brains a lot, it challenges you a lot, and that is why, of course, people start moving forward faster than before if they are willing to do so, right? Technically, any new thing is a really important helper that changes ourselves, that helps us. It improves us significantly, and even though sometimes it can be challenging, however, it's incredibly useful. Let's just state it. Any new language makes us better, makes us smarter, obviously. Polyglots. The next point is that polyglots. Obviously, polyglots are those people who can switch from one language to another. And of course, from this perspective, we are considering only people who are able, really able, truly able to communicate, use many languages at the same time, switching from one to another, and having no obstacles, serious obstacles at all. So these people, of course, are incredibly, let's call them poly-directed people, right? So they work with many different languages. They're able to open many different doors when it comes to communication, internet, let's say international communications, well, different job, opportunities, etc. So these people are different, and this is a fact, right? So we could say that they are obviously very flexible when it comes to their mind, right? So the mind that is flexible is ready to act at any time. So this is a fact. So another thing that we had discussed on Monday was, it is just better. So this perfect time for any individual to start practicing language. So in this case, it's English. So this perfect time for anybody to start a language. So when is it? Technically, when is this period of time is actually, significant, right? So this is, of course, this moment when people start talking, right? I'm talking about humans, right? In general, when we start using our first language, our mother language, right? So this is approximately when we are 2-3 year old, right? Children. So this is this perfect time to start another foreign language. So because in this particular period of time, children, we do not distinguish any difference between the languages, right? So we just see that, for example, in case of, bilingual people, right? So those children who have one parent from one country, another parent from another country. So, for example, I'm talking to my mom using, English. I'm talking to my dad, I'm using, French, right? So obviously, as a kid, I don't see any difference, but however, I just automatically switch from one language to another when I talk to my mom or when I talk to my dad, right? And this is a fact as well. So it is perfect. It would be better, incredibly good, if you'd start any foreign language when you are a little kid, a young guy, right? However, when you're a kiddo, you don't realize it, right? So it totally depends on your parents. So it's just something that we cannot control. All right, so this is a fact. Then the next one is here is, what are those typical purposes, right? Goals of those who are, of learners, right? Of those who want to start any foreign language. So typical goals would be what? So I should start using the language immediately because I have a lot of business partners. So I gotta use foreign language. So that's why I start practicing or learning it now. So maybe that's why people start looking for tutors or go to any training centers, etc., etc., etc. So this is one of the goals, right? The next one, some people just want to improve their language, or just increase their language, or I should say increase their level. So this is incredibly important, and yes, some people do that, and myself, I have students like those. So they just want to increase their level. This is a good factor. And another one is that sometimes when parents claim to, they want to increase the level of their children, right? I'm talking about their language level. So they just want to have better marks, right? Better grades at school. So they want better marks. Then that's why they start looking for some tutors. So those would be typical things. However, typical goals. However, of course, we know that goals can be different, and goals can be very, very special. Some special cases, right? Of course, they also have a right to exist. Okay. The next one. Here we have this aging accent, right? So this accent that is, well, of course, different people from different countries, they have different accents, right? There is a Chinese accent of English, there's a Japanese, Turkish, Russian, or Arabic accent, right? When we are talking about English. And yes, this is just a fact. This is true. However, is it necessary? Well, should I say, is it necessarily that we would say any person who can be considered as adult is it's just 100% that he or she will have an accent, right? Well, not for sure. However, yes, we know that when we start practicing, as I mentioned before, when we start practicing foreign languages in our youth, right, in our childhood, then of course it is an incredibly good chance for us to avoid any accents in future. So it means that we will be native speakers of English when we start practicing languages from our youth. However, when we start practicing languages when we are adults, right, so that is a problem only if you do not accept the language, and which is why this is a common problem, because adults usually they do not accept new things. I mean, entirely, right? They do not accept new things, which is why they do have those accents. We can correct those accents, right? Make them not that obvious, right? Not that highlighted in daily conversations using English language. However, yes, most of adults, yes, they do have accents, and this is just something that is incredibly difficult to get rid of. Right. The next one. The difference between understanding, or I should say, let's say acceptance level between youngsters, right? Between young students and adults. Well, of course, adults, they are on a slow side, I should say. So children, of course, are quite faster. But again, that totally depends on a person. So I do have some students that are above 40, 45, and 50, and they're incredibly motivated. So this is a conversation about, when it comes to adults, this is just a conversation about their motivation. So if they're motivated enough, they will be incredibly good. So that's just a fact. That's just a fact. So yeah, I wouldn't say that there's a quite big difference. It's only a matter of motivation, because sometimes even kids without motivation, so it's just a nightmare to work with those ones. All right, that's why I always say to my students and to their parents, if my potential students are children, then I should say that I need those who are willing to learn a language. Otherwise, it's going to be a nightmare. The next one. So difficulties for adults to find this right time, right, to practice languages, because we are all busy, we all work, and this is going to be a challenge because We have family, we have responsibilities, we have a lot of duties, and this is something that is going to be another challenge when we start any new habit. This is a fact. And what should we do then? How should we deal with that problem? Well, it's just grab a notebook and make a schedule for yourself, right? So you got to organize everything. You got to manage your time very well. You got to organize everything, put in order all those things that you have during the week. And this is the only chance for you to find this time for when you're incredibly busy, of course, when you want to learn any foreign language. This is a fact as well. So I guess these are most important key moments that we had discussed on Monday. That's going to be enough for today, guys. Everybody, thanks for your time. Thank you for your attention. Do not forget about PDF file. You can message me directly and get the file. And of course, leave your feedback. That would be highly appreciated. Thank you very much for your time. I'll see you next week, our next live stream on Monday, and I'll see you in our next podcast. Thank you again. And if you want to, let's say, practice new languages, learn something, increase your level, well, of course, you can always message me, contact me directly. Thank you for your time, guys. I'll see you later. Till next time. Bye-bye. Have a good time.